I'm going to make a prediction, a specific one. Within the next 24 months, a major corporation will face a derivative lawsuit in which shareholders allege that the board of directors breached its fiduciary duty by failing to provide adequate oversight of the company's AI systems. The case will cite a specific AI failure, a discriminatory algorithm, an unexplainable credit decision, a regulatory violation that cost the company hundreds of millions of dollars. And the legal argument will be that the board knew or should have known that this risk existed and took no meaningful action to govern it. I believe that's inevitable. Not possible, inevitable. And I'm going to show you the chain of evidence that leads me to that conclusion and what to do before it comes your boardroom. Here's the data behind the prediction. AI-related securities class actions doubled from 2023 to 2024. The first half of 2025 alone produced 12 new filings. Average settlement values for directors and officers' claims involving AI rose 27% to approximately $56 million per case. These aren't cases that emerged from AI causing harm. Most of them involve companies making representations about their AI capabilities that the AI could not actually deliver. The legal framework being applied is material misrepresentation, the same framework that governs any material fact a public company discloses to shareholders. What has not yet materialized, but is clearly approaching, is the derivative case that targets not what a company said about its AI, but what the board failed to do to govern it. That case requires three elements: a significant documented AI failure, evidence that the risk was foreseeable, and a board that had no meaningful governance structure to oversee AI risk. All three of those elements exist in most large enterprises right now. In 1996, the Delaware Court of Chancery established what is known as the Caremark standard for director liability. The principle is this: directors have a duty to implement and oversee monitoring systems for known risks. Failure to build those systems, even in the absence of active bad faith, can constitute a breach of fiduciary duty. The Caremark standard has been extended over the years. In the McDonald's case, courts extended the duty of supervision beyond board directors to executive management. The principle is now established. If you hold a leadership position in an organization, you have a duty of active oversight over material risk, not passive observation, not quarterly review of summary reports. Active, documented, informed oversight. AI is now a material risk in every enterprise that uses it for consequential decisions. The SEC has said through its enforcement actions. The EU has codified it through the AI Act. Federal regulators in banking, healthcare, and financial services have all issued guidance frameworks that assume board-level AI oversight as a baseline. Here's the number that matters. Only 27% of boards have formally incorporated AI governance into committee charters, according to governance research published in 2025, which means 73% of boards are overseeing enterprises that operate material AI systems, and the board's governance structure hasn't been updated to reflect that reality. Under Caremark, the gap is not just a best practice issue, it's a legal exposure. The question a plaintiff will ask is, did the board know that AI posed a material risk to the company? The answer will be yes, because the regulatory environment makes ignorance implausible. Did the board take meaningful steps to oversee that risk? In 73% of companies, the documented answer will be no. Board-level AI oversight is not the same as approving an AI strategy. Strategy is what management presents to the board. Oversight is what the board does independently to verify that strategy is being executed responsibly. The distinction matters because the legal standard is oversight, not approval. The board must be informed. This means regular, specific reporting on AI risk, not just AI performance metrics, but AI risk metrics, error rates, anomaly frequencies, regulatory interactions, compliance gaps. This information needs to reach the board in a format that allows meaningful engagement, not just acknowledgement. The board must have oversight infrastructure. Most boards have an audit committee, a risk committee, and a compensation committee. The other 60% haven't. Assigning AI oversight to an existing committee is not sufficient if that committee's charter hasn't been updated and its members haven't received relevant briefings. The board has to ask the questions management doesn't volunteer. What AI systems are operating without adequate human oversight? Where is our exposure to EU AI Act high risk classifications? What would a regulator find if they examined our AI audit trails tomorrow? These aren't comfortable questions, they're fiduciary questions, and the board's job is to ask them. The derivative lawsuit I'm predicting will not come from a board that intended to fail in its oversight duties. It'll come from a board that was moving too fast, trusted management's assurances, and didn't build the independent verification structure that fiduciary duty requires. That's not a story about villains. It's a story about governance structure that wasn't designed for the AI era and was never updated. The question for every board member watching this is whether your governance structure has been updated, whether AI risk appears on your committee agenda with the same regularity and specificity as financial risk and legal risk, whether you can demonstrate it in writing that your board exercised meaningful oversight of your organization's most consequential AI systems. The Sentinel Leader builds that structure before the lawsuit, before the regulator, before the 3 a.m. phone call.